Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. How are we doing? Let me quickly share this to the group. I'm a couple minutes late because Facebook was acting crazy. Okay, I got it shared to the group. Say hello if you're on so I know that it's working.
Are you on, Meg?
Yeah, can you see me? Can you see me now?
I can't get on that, so that's why I wondered.
Well, let me know. Somebody let me know if you can see me. I see that I'm live on my computer. Okay, I just tagged oh, hi, Diana. So Diana can see me. I tagged everyone, Mom, so maybe that'll help you find me. Diana, are you excited about learning how to make this? It's really not as hard as it looks. Okay, I think I'm set. Some people are joining. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook today. It was acting funny. While I'm waiting for people to find me, just a couple announcements. If you haven't already, don't forget to sign up for my National Scrapbooking Month virtual crop party. Oh, now I see you, Mom. You're on here. It is Saturday, May 9th from 1 to 9 p.m. Central Time. There will be, it's an open crop, or you can work on cards, whatever you want. There will be some games, prizes. There is a make and take. If you marked going on my Facebook Live event, I sent out the make and take supplies. So if you didn't mark going, you should have received an envelope with supplies, unless you just did it in the past few days. And I'm going to do a technique demo also, and there is a sketch challenge, which I will be posting probably this week. The product of the month is the Eyelet Blooms dies. So this is really amazing. It's only $5 with a $75 purchase. And then the new kits this month are the Painted Skies kit. And this coordinates with some new paper and a suite that's coming out in the May-August catalog. And then this Sunniest Story scrapbooking kit makes, I think, 6 two-page layouts. It has these ephemera, so it's really kind of mix and match, do your own thing, although there are some directions. But this is a really nice way to make, maybe not a whole album, but, get a good start on an album. And then before the new catalog comes out, don't forget to get your favorite online exclusives products. Looking for the crop party. Oh, you got your supplies? Good, good, good. I sent them out, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago. Okay, I don't want to talk a long amount because I want to get this done, and it may take the whole time, but if anybody has any questions, let me know. I do have a supply list. Let me drop the blog that I wrote that has all of the directions and measurements and things. Okay, that does have all the measurements. And actually, I am going to maybe follow along on here. So I'll show you. My blog is periodically.blogspot.com. Although I just dropped a link, but it's coming on. But it has all of the measurements. So here we go, right here. So I've got the little sketches and everything. Okay. So basically what you are going to need, let me kind of tell you, this is the boxes. So I actually have a few of these boxes made. And you need probably, if you're using 8.5 by 11 cardstock, you will need 4 of these. They are 7 3/4 by 9.5. And then you need 1 sheet of designer series paper. And you need at least 8 inches wide and then 12 inches long. And then you need some coordinating designer series paper. I would probably do something different than these two, but, and you need 8 of these. So you need, I don't know, about half a sheet maybe. And then some basic white or something that coordinates with your designer series paper. Okay, so not too much. Let's get the, let's get the easy part out of the way. I am going to make this for my brother. Not this one, but the one I'm making right now, I'm going to make it for my brother. It's his 50th birthday on May 7th. So I decided to use this paper. This paper is retired, but it doesn't matter what paper that you use, but I'm going to use this paper. It's all about airplanes. It's called Take to the Sky, but he works for United, so I thought that would be a fun look. Okay, so if you're crafting along, I did make some templates here for you. So you need 2 pieces of your designer series paper that are 4 inches wide. One of them is 11 5/8, and one of them is 9 1/4. And again, it's on the blog too. So this one you will need, since it's designer series paper, it's going to have to be the 12 by 12. And this, let me show you what this is going to be. This is going to be this outside part. Let me show you. I didn't show you how this opens up, did I? Let me show you that. It's tied closed, but look at how amazing this is. Isn't this amazing? And then these are little treat boxes. So it's my brother's 50th birthday, so I'm going to put 50 of something in here. Not in this one, in the one I'm making now. But this, what you're cutting right now, these 2 things here are going to be the outer, this outer part here. This piece here. And then you can kind of see the insides you know, in between, that's the, see that blue there? That's the back of that paper. Okay, so that's what we're going to cut now. So mainly you're going to see this outside, which I started to make it for Mother's Day, but then when I went to decorate it, I decorated as birthday wishes. But look how it folds up into a square. So you're really only going to see the one side. You just see a very small amount on the inside. So I'm going to use this as my outside. I thought about using this one, but here's why I decided not to, because it's, I don't know, it's directional. I don't know, this one seemed okay, but when it comes up this way, is it the same way? I was afraid of the design being upside down on this piece. But we can try and we'll see. We'll see how it is. So just pay attention to the orientation, the design. Okay? So I'm going to cut this let's cut 2 of them 4 inches. Okay. And then one is 11 5/8. So let's make this one 11 5/8. 11 and, okay. So what's the 5/8? Remember, 4/8 is the half mark. 4 out of 8 is half. And so then it's the next kind of medium line. So it's really 2 little tick marks over. That's the 5/8. So you're only really cutting off 3/8, not much. Okay, and then the other one is 9 1/4. And it will make sense why these measurements are how they are. Oh, and before I go much further, and I do talk about this in the blog, but Stampin' Up! Posted these, well, they posted like a sketch to do this from the artisan design team member Andrea Sargent. So I'm giving her a shout out for the inspiration. I drew the Cricut. I use Cricut to make those, but Stampin' Up! Did post this on their Facebook page, and I just wanted to give her credit. See, so Andrea Sargent, here she is here, so here's kind of the sketch that she drew. I had a little bit trouble over here following this, so I don't know, I figured it out myself, or at least I'm doing it my way, and then we'll see. Okay, and then we need to score these. So let's take the longer one. And we are going to score it at 3 7/8. Now 7/8 is well, on mine it's the one line before the 4, because 7/8 is right before 8/8. So 3 7/8, and then 7 3/4. So that makes each of these squares 3 7/8. Okay. And then this one gets scored at 3 7/8 and 7 3/4. Okay, and then let me burnish this down for you. Okay, I should have maybe picked a lighter color because that might be hard to see with this dark. Okay. The reason you need to do this is because we're going to attach these to each other to make a little bit longer strip here, because this is longer than 12 inches. So you have to kind of piece two pieces together. Okay, so what we're going to do is overlap this section and glue it together. Okay, let me get my adhesive. Okay. You can use glue if you want. I'm not a glue girl. So we're going to take the top of this piece and glue it to, the bottom of here to make one kind of long piece. And you want to do your best to get this sort of as straight as you can. There we go. So now you can see it starting to form. You see? Isn't that nice? So this little thing is the flap here. Okay. Okay, so we've got our outer part done. Now what we need to do is make our boxes to put inside. Okay. And you're going to cut a piece that looks like this. I kind of have a little mock-up for you. Okay, and here are the measurements. So, first of all, this whole piece is 7 3/4 by 9 1/2. Okay, so let's cut that. And this I did with the Cajun Craze because I thought it went with this pretty well. I would use cardstock for this because you want it to have a little more, heft to it. Okay. And I only had 12 by 12 Cajun Craze, so that's what I'm using. So let's cut this at 7 3/4. And 9 1/2. And then these are extra. We might be able to use it in a minute for our reinforcement pieces. But now since I did use the 12 by 12, it's the two-tone cardstock. So I want to keep that in mind because you need to make 4 of these. I've already put together 3 because these take a little bit of time. And I didn't want... I didn't want to take up all of the time making these. Okay. So you need to make 4. I'm going to show you how to make 1 though. Okay, so this looks like a hot mess, but it works. So the first thing we're going to do is score 1 7/8 on both sides. So it's 1 7/8 from both sides. Let's get our scoreboard out here. So 1 7/8. And then I turned it around and did 1 7/8 again. I didn't really want to calculate what, the 7/8 was on this side. Okay. And now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and score it at 2 5/8 and 6 3/8 and then 9. Okay. So 2 5/8. And all of these measurements are on my blog. 6 3/8. And then when I upload this to YouTube, I will put a link to the blog in the YouTube description too. And then 9 inches. Okay. I don't know if you can see it better on the light side. But so we've done this part. Let's see. This is the 2 5/8, the 6 3/8, and then the 9 inches. Okay. Now this is the part that's a little bit tricky. I'm going to score this, burnish it a little bit to see the lines better because it is a darker color. It wasn't as hard when I used, like on this one, I used white, or actually it's vanilla. So I used vanilla. It was a little bit easier to see. So let me score along here so you guys can maybe see it better. And then this is the part that I couldn't quite figure out the diagram that was on Stampin' Up. So I did my best and came up with my own method, which may be the method that they suggested, but I'm not sure. But it works, so that's what's important. Okay. So hopefully you can kind of see this taking shape. So here's the next part. You need to measure down to 4.5 and mark that point. Okay? Measure down 4.5 from the top. 4.5 from the top. Not the part that has the this 1/2 inch strip. Because remember, this is 9.5. So it's not, if you did 4.5, that's not equal. From the top and from the bottom. It's 5 inches from here, 4.5 from here. Okay, so mark it at 4.5 down from the side that doesn't have this 1/2 inch spot. So I just did this. I took my pencil, I put it on my Versamat, but you can use a ruler, whatever you need. And I measured down from the top here, 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Now do not turn it and measure 4.5 again, because then this would be right at the top. So you don't want to do that. You want to go down on this side and measure 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to score from here, from that 4.5 mark to the corner where these meet, And from here to the corner, score it. Same thing over here. From the 4.5 to the corner, 4.5 to the corner. This one I found easier to use my my cutter. And try and get it as best as you can. So I'm putting the little mark I made right in the trough, and then I'm going to try and line this up in right in the trough here. So let's see. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to score it. I'm just going to score from here to that mark. Don't go all the way up. Okay, just go to the corner. I don't know if you can see. If you can see that. There we go, right there. You see how I went from the corner, or from here up to the corner. And I'll do the same thing from there to this corner. There's a corner. Okay, this is going to be perfect. Okay, so from there to here. Okay, that one's pretty good too. I don't know if you can see that one. Let me see if I can. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's do this side now. I'm putting my little mark and then estimating this corner here. Looking at where the trough is. Okay, pretty good. Make sure you don't use your cutter. Make sure you're only using the score. Okay, that one's not too bad. And then the last one. Okay, I think that should be pretty good. Ooh, I went kind of off there. I'm gonna redo that one. The better you get this to the corner, the more, triangular and perfect your thing will be. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. Now here comes the part. So what I did, hopefully you can see it on this one better. I took a clear ruler, and it just so happens on my ruler, let me see if you can see it. On my ruler, you see this, there's like a little line that goes across here. That's a 1/2 inch from here. So what I did is I lined up that 1/2 inch mark, the line that's here, with my score line, and then I drew a line. So here I did 1/2 inch and then drew a line. This part isn't so important, right? You could probably just cut this with your scissors. This is not a 1/2 inch here, but you could try it as a 1/2 inch, but it's not, because this is a 1/2 inch. And then do it on all 4 sides. Like I said, if you want, you can just kind of cut it about a 1/2 inch away from your score marks. This is going to be the, like these flaps, and where you glue the sides to the front. So, but you need it wide enough so that you can attach adhesive. Okay. So now I'm using this ruler. You can just, like I said, wing it, whatever you want to do. But I'm lining up this line on my ruler with my score mark, and then I'm drawing the line. And then we're going to be cutting all this part away, so it's okay if the line's there. And then do it on this side. And you only want to draw the line to, to these score marks. And then do it on this side. You could do anywhere from, I would do probably more than a quarter. So you can use maybe a 1/4 inch tape or up to a 1/2 inch. It's up to you. Anywhere around in there is good. Okay, how are we doing? We following along? Okay, now we're going to cut it so it looks like this. Okay, we're going to cut these 4 corners off completely. So these 4 rectangles. And then these corner parts here to make kind of wings. Okay? So let's cut, and I'm cutting right along the score line. You could use your trimmer if you think you could, you know, get them straighter that way. I went to the eye doctor today and I see a little bit better, so I've got new contacts in. And this side you are going to cut off this the 1/2 inch flap too. So I'm cutting these 4 rectangles. Okay, and now this is the part where I said if you don't have a, hey Julie, if you don't have a clear ruler to mark these, you could just take your, you know, scissors and cut it about a 1/2 inch from the edge. This part isn't, the scoring should be somewhat precise, but this part, it doesn't matter too much. You're only going to basically be gluing, you know, it's a flap to glue or it's a flap on the inside. So I didn't do very good on that one. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Oh, one more. If you're joining late, I did, my latest blog post has all the measurements of these and the cutting. So now we made it look like our template here. So I'm going to pop that on the screen again if anybody wants to take a screenshot. But again, I have a sketch on my blog. So we cut off the 4 corners and then these 4 pieces. And then this is the scoring for the wraparound part. Okay, so now let's turn this into a box. Like I said, I've already made 3 of these. So this is the 4th one. One thing you might want to do is on this 1/2 inch flap, you can just trim off the edges a little bit, just angle it off a little bit. I wouldn't cut too much, and that's because you do want these to stay closed. And so you see how this is the flap that keeps it closed. So if you cut too much, this is going to be a little bit loose and it will come out. Okay. Okay. So now the part with the 1/2 inch flap is the top. Okay. And so these are going to be, we're going to be folding these up like this. First, I want to erase my little marks there. remember where I measured the 4.5 inch down. It probably won't be shown, but okay. And now let's fold along these score lines. And it should come to a point there. And remember, I'm using the two-tone cardstock, so I want the darker side to be the outside. So I'm folding it towards, towards the lighter side. Okay, so now the part that's the top, you want to put with this little flap, the 1/2 inch flap, you want to put this towards the top. And we are going to put adhesive here and here, not on these top two, right? Because that's where the flap of the box, but those are the pieces that we're going to adhere the bottom to, okay? So put adhesive here and here. I tried my ATG gun, and I left one of these so you could kind of see it. It comes out pretty easily. So I thought that would be pretty strong. So it's not. So I would use something like score tape, or I'm using this red line tape. Okay, and that seems to be working. And then you only put it on the flat part. So the bottom flap here, and then the bottom flap here. You could probably add a second row if I wanted to, but I don't think I'll need it. Okay, I'm going to rub this a little bit with my bone folder so it's good and sticky. Peel off the backing. Okay. Okay, and so then I'm going to flip this part in and line up the corner, the side with the score mark here. See how nicely that goes together? And then on this one, I'm going to line it up. Before I push too hard, I want to make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to, rub it together pretty good so that it sticks good. Okay. And so there you have your triangle box. This is actually, you could use this template if you just want to make a triangle box like this, like for Halloween or something. This would be cute for a little Halloween thing. You can do the same thing. Okay, but now what we need to do is put these all on our the strip that we made earlier. Okay, remember we cut this strip. Remember, this was the two pieces that we kind of glued together. Don't glue this one down yet, okay? Just FYI, we're gonna remind me. So if someone sees me start to do it, yell at me, okay? We're just gonna do the first 3. And as you're putting this down, you want to make sure that all of your flaps are going in the same direction. Unless you don't want to. If you want to do 2 going this way, 2 going that way, however you want to do it. But just be aware that when you put these down, you should be cognizant of the direction that they're going to open. Because you don't want like 3 of them one way and then one the other way. I mean, no one actually probably would notice, but you. Okay, so what I did is I just put the score tape on the bottom. Again, you probably want something strong. Where did my scissors go? They're under my templates. And you're just putting it along the bottom, you know, this bottom piece. So I'm probably going to put 4 strips. This is 1/4 inch red line tape, so. Okay. Let's peel off the backing. Okay, and then when we put it onto the square, it should fit nearly perfectly. Have just a little bit of wiggle room on either side. Okay, so like I said, I want my thing to open up this way. And I don't know if you can see. Can you see? This is it's 3 7/8. Is this 4 inch? 3 7/8. Okay. And so I'm just going to try and get it even. I feel like it's too far this way, so I'm gonna okay. Before I set that down, let me just undo a little bit. I felt like it was slightly too far to that way. Come on. Okay. There we go. That actually will give me a little bit of time to get it how I want. Okay. You want it to be even on both sides because it's going to be almost exactly. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with that. And then you can go inside and push it down. Mine's going to be a little bit, it's going to take maybe a little bit because I have to undo. Okay, now let's do the next one. Do this one. And like I said, I made 3 other ones already. I'll cap this up because it smells a little bit. Okay, let's put our adhesive on the bottom. Where's the end? Here we go. Is anybody going to try and make one of these? I think that they will be great for a Mother's Day. Cute little box. They could put their little box on their dresser or something, or their mantle. And you could have little treats in here, little candies. Actually, you could put little notes in there that they open up one One per day, wouldn't that be cute? That would be really cute. Okay, let's take this off. The backing off. You're gonna make one later? Good. Juliet, you came on a little bit late, I think, but I did have a blog post with all of the measurements. My latest one on periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com. And I will put a link to it when I put this on YouTube. It'll be in the description. Okay. Or you can just go back and watch this video. Okay, that opened up pretty good. Now this one, again, you don't want it to go down till you're happy with how it lays. Okay, there we go. I think that seems to be okay. Rub it a little bit. Okay, and one more before I do what you need to do on here. We're doing pretty good on time. I'm glad I made these 3 other ones earlier. Okay. And one more. Okay, take the backing off. If you try Stampin' Seal Plus, let me know. I'll be interested to see how that holds up, because the regular Stampin' Seal, my pieces came apart a little bit, because this does go through a lot of, you know, opening and closing, and so you need something really kind of strong. Okay. Again, check that it opens in the direction you want it to. And make sure it's even edge to edge. That's not too bad. I'm not gonna mess with it. I like to kind of go along to make sure that it's looking like it's gonna form a box, which it does. I don't know why I think doing that undo really made this that piece not like to close. There we go. One more. But before we do that one, we need to add these like reinforced pieces. Okay. Now these reinforced pieces, this is 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. And I'm going to use, I think, the Cajun Craze. Here I use the very vanilla, the same as my box. So let's cut this. Let's do 3 7/8. And then 1 3/8. Okay, and for some reason I didn't cut the other one, but it's I think it's 3 7/8 by 3 3/4. Yeah, so 3 7/8 by 3 3/4. So let's cut this 3 3/4. And then make sure you see this is 3 7/8. Okay. Now what these are for is to sort of reinforce this piece, because this is designer series paper, right? And it's very flimsy, you know. So if you start punching these holes and putting the ribbon through it, it's going to tear. So by adding this, it kind of reinforces that paper. So this one I can glue right down. But don't glue that one down yet. So this is just going to be centered on this flap. Okay, now this one, we're going to be putting it down like this. And then we're going to punch a hole in it, and then thread my ribbon through. So I'm going to use this ribbon. I'm going to thread it through, because if you see on here, you don't see the inside of the you don't see the bottom of the ribbon, and that's because it's tucked underneath. I'm going to put this here. It's tucked underneath the box. I left that one to show you how the regular adhesive did. It just doesn't stay together. Ooh. Stuck to the ribbon. Okay. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put this down. And if you want to, you can secure like the bottom just to kind of keep it in place while you mess around with it. I don't know. It might be harder to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the red line tape, and then you can kind of peel it pretty easy. And that last one I won't take the backing off. Gives you a little bit of room to thread the... Okay. Let's see how this works. I don't remember how I remember I had to go back and take it off. So this one I didn't take off, because we want to punch the hole. Okay. I have my 3-hole punch, or no, it's not a 3-hole punch. What would you call this? A regular punch? I don't know. And I'm going to put it, let's see. I just kind of centered it. Let's look at where I put it on here. Well, that's the flip part, but let's do it this way so it makes more sense. Okay, so I'm going to put it about, I don't know, what do you think about right here? And then maybe right here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do before I do all of that, I'm going to draw little circles so I know where to punch it on there. Okay. Okay, so now we want to thread our ribbon, and I cut about this is a new pack because I wanted to try a different ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna do maybe 18 inches. That should be about enough, maybe a little bit more. This is called frayed ribbon. So if it looks frayed, it's supposed to, right? Okay, so we're going to punch this through the holes like this. And here you want to make sure that it's long enough before you glue it all down. Okay, and then what you want to do is try and get this to be kind of as flat as you can. Okay, there you go. Make sure it's even. Okay, that's not too bad. Because we're going to be putting the that other box on top. Okay, so let's put the last box on top. It's going to go on top like this, okay? Oh wait, I didn't take the ribbon, let's take the adhesive off of this one before we put that down. Yeah, this worked out pretty good. I'm happy with that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to try and not put the adhesive over where the, hi Lisa, where the ribbon is. Then you potentially could move it a little bit, I think, if you need to. Okay, now put the last one on. And again, keep in mind which direction that flap is going when we put it down. Okay, so we have our flaps opening this way, so it's going to go this way. And then again, we just want to try and center it right onto our base. Okay, again, take it and smush it down. So there we go, look at that. Now let's see if it's going to roll up good. Okay. Uh-oh, Darcy's getting mad. I did something to this box when I used that undo. It's just not liking it. Okay, what I'm gonna do is roll it this way. Okay, and it's pretty good. Now what we need to do is punch these holes here. Okay, and so at this point, then the ribbon can be tied through. Oh, we still have to decorate the inside, so don't let me forget that. Yeah, so we'll be decorating this all here in a little bit. The top and the inside. I'll make this pretty. You guys know bows are my nemesis. That's not too bad. Okay. Okay, so now let's decorate the inside. You can see on these ones, my boxes were the vanilla, and then I cut this designer series paper for the top of it. And that paper is, or that size is 3 7/8 by 2.5. So 3 7/8 by 2.5. And so I wanted to use this one because it's got some of that Cajun craze in it. So, and you need 8 pieces of those. So I say 3 7/8 by 2.5. And 8 of them. 1. Does that seem like the right size? Yeah. 1. 2. 3 and 4. So you need about an 8-inch wide piece. So 3 7/8, so a little bit less than an 8-inch wide. But so if you're going to use scraps or something, keep that in mind. And then about 2, 5, 10 inches this way. Okay. So let's decorate the inside. And I'm just going to use my Tombow, which is right there, because this doesn't need to be strong because it's not being held on. But if you are, if your paper is directional, you'll have to think about how you want to do that. You know, I'm going to have mine all kind of face up to the top up here, right? I didn't have to worry about it on my other sample. So you see how I'm going to have them go like this. And you could decorate these before you put them on if you want. I like to not do it because just to make sure it works out before I use my paper up. Okay. Couple more. I like these little, like, old-fashioned airplanes. And like I said at the beginning, I'm making them airplanes for my brother since he works for United. But, my nephew's talking about being a pilot, so he'll like this too. you can, if you want, you can punch a little, what do you call those? Like a little thumb hole in here. I don't have a round punch that I could do that. But I think in her, in the Stampin' Up! Version, she might have punched a thumb hole. I'm gonna put that on my list as a little punch. I thought about like doing a little corner rounder or something, but you can't get it in there at the right angle. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? All decorated up. So good. Let's close it up, and then all we gotta do is decorate the top if you want. Okay. If you don't want to do the ribbon, you probably could do like a magnet, and you could even probably stick the magnet under that paper, right? Before you glue it down. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with making this very pretty right now because I want to focus on the top. Okay. So this top is, I know, 4 inches this way and 3 7/8 that way. So it's going to put this, and this kit has these kind of things. I was thinking about maybe, I thought there were some tags. Oh yeah, here we go. I was thinking about maybe stamping on, maybe I'll do that one and stamp on the tag. What do you think? Well, I mean, I could do that and then cut out. Oh, I could even cut out that airplane. I might cut that out and see. But I wanted to do, you know, like a little happy birthday thing. So first let's cut the white. Let's see, let's do like 3 3/4. My 3 3/4. Oh wait, did I? Excuse me. That's pretty good. I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch off of one side. I'm not going to glue this down onto the box until I have it set what I want to do. What do you think? You think I should, let's cut it this way. I think I should cut out an airplane and then stamp happy birthday on a banner. I might need to cut the top of that off a little bit. I'm gonna cut right underneath that plane. Might ruin it, but if that's the case, I will just cut the plane out. I wanted it to be kind of centered. Okay, I like that. What do you think? And then maybe put happy birthday coming out from one of those planes. I'm going to have to get a different happy birthday than what I was planning. You know, I didn't get the stamp set with this paper because I had the Close to My Heart version. They had put out almost the exact same stamp set right before they closed. And I had bought that. But I searched through my stuff and I couldn't find it. I was going to, oh, I could probably use that one. I wanted kind of a, actually I have this already stamped. I wanted it to kind of look like it was flying off the back of that. How can I make that happen? Well, I might just put that on there for right now and then think about what I want to put on. I really kind of wanted like a waving banner. Okay. Okay, there we go. But look how cute that is. It's a little box. And then when you open it up, it becomes this accordion treat box. And you could put little gifts in here. Let me know if you have any questions. Here's my sample that I made to show you. This one I also did a birthday. I was planning on doing it for Mother's Day, but then I decided to do it for birthday, but this could say Happy Mother's Day there. Let me drop the link to the resource page that has the products that I used in this one. Here I use the Painted Illusions paper for the front, for this, and for this. This is a retired paper pack. Okay, that is the link to the resource page with these products in it. Okay. So much going on. The catalog is dropping soon. Next week, I'll show you what we're going to make next week. Next week, I'm making an interactive spinning card from the Ferris wheel with the beach boardwalk. I'll show you that. Okay. This actually would be good for Father's Day gift too. This is so cute. And again, I want to give a shout out to Stampin' Up! For posting about this. The sketch, they had a sketch on their Facebook page, and I actually was sitting there, and I think I was saying on our group crop, I was saying, I need to figure something out to do for today's live. And I came upon that Facebook post, and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So aren't these cute? this is about a 4x4x4 cube. Okay, this is what we're making next week. And the little Ferris wheel spins. Yeah, Julie, that would be cute to try different sizes. If you come up with a different size, let me know. I mean, I know I'm okay at math, but I don't have the bandwidth right now to think about that. So also next week, watch next week's live, or watch next week's video, because I have a special offer that's related to this card. Okay, so watch the video, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you my special offer for the new catalog. Isn't this fun? It's got a little mechanism there. So cute. That's what we're doing next week. Okay, well, thanks for watching this week. If you make one of these, please post in the Crafty Chemist Presents group so that we can see, because I'm really interested to see what people come up with. I'm going to think about, I really want to make this kind of a flag coming off of there. I got to think about it. You think with a string, I know on that, I need to go through my stuff, because unless I sold that's what I'm worried about, because I didn't keep track of what I sold when I brought it to a crop. I just, said these ones are $5, these ones are $10, and I didn't pay attention. So I could have easily sold that, but I didn't think I did. But that one has the string stamp that you could do. It's got the whole banner and the string stamp. But this is cute even just how it is, right? I mean, and I'm going to, since it's my brother's 50th, I think I'm going to stick 51s in here. So he won't care so much if I have the happy birthday coming off of that or not, right? So, okay. Please watch next week where we make the spinner, the interactive spinner card with the beach boardwalk. There's so much going on. I'm doing a catalog walkthrough on May 6th, the Wednesday. And then May 9th is my National Scrapbooking Month crop party. If you haven't already signed up by marking going on the Facebook event, do so now. And I am sending out the make and take kits. I sent out all of the first batch already. You should have received that if you had signed up. I am going on vacation starting on Thursday, so if I could send it out by Thursday, that would be great, just to make sure you get it in time. Although we still have some the first week of May, but and you can sign up if you just go to the QR code link. So there's a make and take, there's going to be a sketch challenge. I'm going to do a demo on a technique, and then some other games. Okay, see you next week. Bye.